Hello and welcome. My name is Mwangala Chakalashi Santos. Now, life is a story. We all have a story of our lives. The question that we must be asking ourselves is, what lessons do we learn from this life story? My guest on the show is a lawyer, a banker with more than 25 years of experience. His name is no other than Mr. Charles Sichangwa. Mr. Sichangwa, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you on Ignite.
Great pleasure.
In fact, I think it's long overdue. You should have been on the show, many days back.
It's all about opportunities.
I like that.
I'm very humbled to have been asked to come over.
Thank you so much.
And share with your audience what Charles Sichangwa is all about.
I love that. Now, I was looking at your CV, and I was thinking this is a very rich CV that he has. Has it always been like that for you?
No. From humble beginnings to today being a chairman of Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, it's been a long journey. It started something like 40 years ago. From a village boy who was herding cattle, I got an opportunity through my uncle to be put in school. You know, education is voluntary.
Oh, yes, it is.
And I took that opportunity. And in the early 70s, I was admitted to the university. That's how I came into Lusaka. From the university, I went into law school, went through what is today called Ziale.
Oh, you did go through Ziale?
At that time, it was Law Practice Institute.
Okay.
And it was being administered from Evelyn Horn College. When I completed my Ziale in 1979, Citibank came into Zambia and were opening a branch. I interviewed for the job and I was successful. Like they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Went through the training program to become a banker as a trainee. Went through the mill, held middle and senior management position. And here I am 41 years later, chairman from a clerk to a chairperson of a bank.
In fact, from the village boy, you just said you started off
Absolutely,
in the village
absolutely.
to where you are today.
Yes.
So, looking at where you've been and where you are now, what are some of the lessons that you've learned?
I think to take and grab opportunities as they come. Every life will have opportunities, equally will have challenges. What you want to capitalize on and what I think happened in my life pathway was taking advantage and maximizing on the opportunities that arose. As I said, back then, to be in law school, you had to be one of the very lucky persons. It wasn't just every Jim and Jack. At that time, if I remember 1974, out of humanities, they would pick about no more than 20 students to go into law school.
Oh, wow.
And I was one of those that got picked. So I said, this is it.
I like that.
So even today, those opportunities will come.
Yeah.
And everybody will have them. It's what you do with them
that matters.
That matters.
Okay. Now, talking about opportunities, do you think back then in the days you had more opportunities than is the case now?
No.
That's a sounding no.
Yes. There is no occasion or time in life that you say you have more. You have equal opportunities on a daily basis. Some we choose not to pursue them. Others we choose to follow them very, very tightly. Because if you look at it that time, the population was smaller. Today it's bigger. So equally, the development that has transformed this time frame has equal amount of opportunities.
Well, I didn't think of it that way.
That's how to look at it. Yes. Every day that you wake up, you will face opportunities and face challenges on a daily basis. How God does these things for us all. Wow. But you can choose to concentrate on challenges and say, I greet you, Mwangala, today, how are you? Life is so difficult. That's all you see. Instead of saying you are grateful you are awake, you would be able to resolve some of the challenges you are going to meet.
Wow.
Others will answer, oh, life is great. Today I plan to do this and hopefully make a change to my life and to people in my life as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
You seem to have a positive mindset. What inspires you?
Life itself is positive. There's no negative life.
I like that.
See, when you all are born philosophically, we're all born equal.
Yeah.
But look at, by our teenagers, we're already different. We start seeing differences. It depends on what difference you want to associate you more with than that will determine how you'll end up in life. Wow. You can follow even when you see it is not going to lead you anywhere, but people still follow that path.
True.
Others find out and change. Others still continue persisting on that same path of self-destruction.
So would you say, from your experience, would you say that anyone can make change at any point in life?
Why not? It's a matter of attitude.
Yeah.
Change it's difficult, obviously, if you have become accustomed to it for over a long period of time. But nothing is unchangeable. You have to make those changes after you make those decisions yourself, at any time in your life.
Okay. Now, I was looking at your CV. Again, I keep referring back to your CV.
Yes,
and I've seen you've been a board member for, Lafarge. You've actually been a board member for a number of organizations in Lusaka. How do you find yourself being appointed as a board member? Is there something one needs to do particularly to become a board member?
Yes. There is an issue of some board membership by representation. For example, if it is a statutory body, let's say ZRA, they have prescribed how board representation should be. Some from private sector, some from the union, some from banking sector, and some from other sectors, accounting, law association, and so on and so forth. So each association chooses a representative on that board. For example, when I served as a ZRA director, I was representing the Bankers Association of Zambia, because I was in banking at the time, and I was then deputy managing director of Meridian Bank. Equally, others that came from LAS, they were also chosen by LAS to go and represent them on the board. But on other free selecting boards, they always look for somebody. To be a board member and a director, one, you would be required to be a person of integrity. A person that has skill to contribute to the well-being of the company you are going to sit on as a board member. Also, in certain instances, to represent a certain gender, because today there is a balancing.
Yeah.
You have to have skills, you have to have experience, you have to have a certain demographic profile that they would be looking for. If they are looking for the youth, and I am not a youth, I wouldn't qualify.
Though you look like one.
I may look like one, but I am not. To have clocked 40 or so years of experience in an industry, that in itself is above the age of a youth. No, thank you. Again, we thank all this and to God for keeping us in good health, keeping us to look after ourselves well.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Now, talking about how youthful you look, do you have specific rituals or lifestyle that you live to make sure that you're looking the way you're looking?
Mwangala, right from the beginning, I've always been an active boy, man, and here I am today, grandfather. Even at university, those of my colleagues we were in the same streams with from 1974 to 1978, I always organized some form of sport. We would have law school versus the various other schools, and I would be at the organization level. Today, what is called East Park Mall used to be a marshland. We would run cross-country from University of Zambia Great East Road to Intercontinental and back.
Do you
every
still
morning.
run?
Recently, because of old age, my right knee underwent some... I need to pay attention to it.
Okay.
But I do, instead of running, I do other activities. Every morning at 5 in the morning, I wake up to go to the gym.
Okay. So we'll take a short break.
Okay.
And when we come back, I want us to talk about your passion. I know you're very passionate when it comes to making a difference in people's lives. And I always think that's what you were called for or created for. So I would like you to go through those thoughts as we come back.
That's what I have transitioned in my latter life, because I'm now giving back.
I love that. So hold that thought. We take a short break, and when we come back, we talk about some of the passions or some of the things that Mr. Charles Sichangwa stands for. Please don't go away.
To advertise on this program and enjoy amazing introductory rates, please call us on +260 211 290959 or +260 211 290912 or +260 953 538 000. Or send us an email at loyolazam@gmail.com.
Welcome back. If you're joining us now, I am talking to Mr. Charles Sichangwa. And before we went on break, he was telling us some of the things he's passionate about, of course, which is making a difference in people's lives. Now, I know that's your passion. When I was reading up on you before this interview, I mean, I was just looking at some of the things that you have achieved. One of it being you were president of Maluba Club of the Rotary in Lusaka. And Maluba happened to be one of the largest clubs in District 9210. And there you did quite a lot of things, you know, in terms of making a difference in people's lives. Why is that your passion? Why do you think it's important to make a difference in people's lives?
For the favors that I've received from the community in which I have operated, in which I have schooled. 4 years ago, I decided to join Rotary. And Rotary is an international voluntary organization that focuses on helping the needy in our communities. And there's a lot of needy in our communities. Every time we open our gates, walk out of our houses, a needy is in our sight. Be it a child, be it an adult, but people who are less fortunate than we are. I benefited from free education. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been a graduate today. So I said, how better to give back? And I wanted a structured organization, respected and has got structures that are unquestionable. So I joined Rotary. Right from the inception of joining Rotary, I was made a president nominee. So I joined right from there as president. Part of the reasons is obviously I have a bit of experience in organization and management, and also I never shied away from volunteering for any work or task that would come. Like anything else, what you put in is what you get.
Yeah.
So I said to get more out of Rotary, I needed to put in all my best. And 2018, 2019, I was made president. It was a very interesting time. And also, people that are close and dear to me, I also try to bring them into Rotary. That's how I brought you into Rotary as a member. And I'm sure you've also brought in others as well. Because Rotary is voluntary. I became president, and it was a very challenging time for Maruba at that time. But what we did do is something that I'm glad a lot of appreciation has been shown. We embarked on a project called the Nyampande Orphanage, which is in the Rufunsa district, somewhere about 100 and so kilometers away, despite the distances. Because ordinarily, Rotary has a restriction in terms of radius of what projects you can supervise. But we did raise funding for Nyampande to roof the clinic, the only clinic in the area. Nyampande is an orphanage, and the community is there, and also the school, the library there, we managed to set it up. But we also did other projects other than just Nyampande. What I like about Nyampande is we use aerobics as a fundraiser. So one Saturday we were all out there, president included, marching and jumping about for the roof for Nyampande. That was very exciting for me. We've also done Chikumbuso, which is a project based in Ngombe. Again, Chikumbuso is a very interesting project. We've done Chilenje Basic Skills, where we are trying to, and still is going, trying to build a facility for special needs students. And then we went and did the Kasenga Clinic, which a medical outreach. And I saw you on that day as a clinical officer,
of course,
taking temperatures of patients and so on and so forth. When you see the recipients of those efforts, how happy they are and how well receiving they are, it just gives you such a sense of satisfaction.
It does.
Yes, that my goodness, with this little effort, look at how many smiles we are putting on the faces of the needy.
True.
Yeah.
And I think
that is an area you remember. Coincidentally, we detected a lady that had BP of over 200 and we contributed from our own personal resources for her to go immediately to the clinic at Kasisi, very far away from Kasenga. If we hadn't passed there that day, that level of blood pressure reading, I don't know what would have happened, but your guess is as good as mine.
True.
I still continue having passion. We are doing tree planting.
Why is that important, by the way?
For the environment. See, there is so much environmental degradation going on that unless we plant trees, we're going to be a desert soon. Even though some of it is justifiable by making a road, but we need to have a program of replacing every tree that we bring down. Some of them take long time to grow. The trees that were brought down on Nangwenya Road, for example, minimum each one of those is 40 or so years.
Wow.
The trees we planted at St. Ignatius College last Saturday, we planted our aim is obviously to plant over 100 trees, and including the boundary of the school.
Yeah.
The school kids were so enthusiastic, they turned out.
I can imagine.
And
For them it was fun. They didn't know how important it is.
I had very good memory, but we explained it to them.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So these projects quite mean a lot. Most recently, in my passion to try and help, I've joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters is again a non-profit organization aimed at empowering people in public speaking, leadership, and communication.
Well, am I doing a good job here?
Absolutely. You should be a Toastmaster.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and we do need it.
Oh, well.
We have in Zambia, all of a sudden, I don't know where it's coming from, people introducing themselves as my names are Mwangala Chakalashi Santos.
So what is it supposed to be?
That's not grammatically correct. Join Toastmasters and we'll teach you.
I hope I introduced myself correctly.
The public will tell. We'll see.
I think I did.
Your name, even if they are 10, is.
My name is.
So
there's a life lesson here. My name is Mwangala Chakalashi Santos.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, I'm a strong believer. I'm a believer in the Creator, which is God. I know you also believe in God.
Yeah.
And I know that we're not created by accident. We were all created for a purpose. We are all supposed to be doing that particular thing that only you can do, only I can do.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is for you?
Yes, I do. I was born in a UCZ family, and however, got married to a Catholic wife. Some 37 years ago, I converted to be a Catholic and was baptized. I congregate at Roma Parish of Assumption Cathedral, and I have come to learn that to be without God is unimaginable at this moment in time. And God provides for who we are, gives us the resources even though we don't see them. They say you have eyes, but you can't see. Ears, you can't hear. It is all out there and all in His favor. We are doing this program today because neither you or me knew one day we'll do this.
Exactly.
But by the will and grace of God, here we are today.
My God, that's so profound. So if you were on your deathbed, and this is a question that I always ask everybody, and I'm not saying you're going to go on your deathbed.
I will be one day.
One day.
Yes.
But yeah, so if you were on your deathbed and God gave you a second chance to live, what would you do differently?
We all need to be ready for death. I would, if my time comes to, when my time comes to die, God gives me another chance, I would probably say, dear God, let me go. There are more people coming out there who will do what I would have not finished. Because we all say, let me go, repeat to do this so that I finish my programs. What are your programs which you couldn't finish in your lifetime? Going back for a second chance may mean doing the same things if you do not change, or may mean now trying to impress. Just be ready to go.
And go.
And believe in a spiritual life, an endless life. Because even in that second chance, it's a short term. You still end up the final life. So go when it is time to go.
To go.
The former president of America, Carter, is about 95. He now moves in a wheelchair, goes to church, simply says he's accepted. It's his time to go. And he can't wait to live another life, to witness that life, which we all have been promised to live. There shall be eternal life.
Wow. Feels like you're preaching to me now.
No, I just believe in God and God's word.
I know.
Yes.
I mean, it's so profound.
Thank you.
So from what you've just said, what I'm picking is that means you don't have any regrets in this life, do you?
Yes, I do.
You
Yes,
do
I
have
do.
regrets?
Absolutely, but I don't dwell on regrets. Life to balance, you have to have regrets and also successes. For example, just when he was finishing his grade 12, my son was amputated, my second-born son. And I made the decision for the amputation because the accident he underwent through, we were told by medical experts the best solution was an amputation. I made that decision, which I felt perhaps I was doing it perhaps emotionally as a father. It should have been God's decision. But through God, guided me to make that decision, because we would have lost that young man. But today we have him with one limb. It's life nonetheless. In life also, we do have some regrets. When I was born, my parents divorced. I never grew up with what you call both parents. I owe to what I am today to my mother's young brother, my uncle, who picked me up. I never had a very good relationship with my father, but we have reconciled.
You've made peace with him now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But not before.
Wow.
But such is life.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That is life. I mean,
Yes.
we all have our ups and downs.
Absolutely.
That's why we're saying, every life has a story. So that is your story.
That is my story.
Now, what is your truth? What is that one thing that should come to people's mind when we say, I am talking to Charles Sichangwa? What do you stand for?
To give and to forgive. That's what I stand for.
So there you have it. Give and forgive. I was talking to Mr. Charles Sichangwa. Join me for another exciting episode. This has been Mwangala Chakalashi Santos.